Hi. Hey everyone. I hope you got a notification. I just kind of hit something in it. I don't know if it worked. So let me know if you're here. It's Annette Dion. I am the host and founder of the Psychic News Network. I'll have to reboot if it doesn't look like anybody knows that I'm on. So when you arrive, let me know that you're here. Okay, so it looks like one person might be here. Two people. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. I think I screwed up the notification thingamajiggy. Hello, as you can see, I'm in a different location. Every once in a while, I like to change it up. Cheryl's saying hello from Maine, and I'm going to say hello from Maine also. I'm in Maine. This time of year, if you're into this sort of thing, if you like to do Airbnbs, it's off season, so it's kind of like a lot less money. Chilly in Washington State. It's cooling off here. It's cooling off quite a bit. Cheryl just got back from Massachusetts. I just came up here last night, and after a very off-schedule day. I'm here so we can go over the news, and I am just confounded with how much there is to talk about. Yeah, I just saw Peter Navarro on Ari Melber. I think that we all watch Ari Melber. Let me see if I can change this light. That's a little better. Yeah, he was just on Ari Melber, and he's desperate, and I think Peter Navarro was on Ari Melber because he just has no place else to turn. 51 degrees this morning in Jersey. Yes, hello. Off season is definitely the best time to travel. So the last time I was here was in May. No. Actually, I did come here in June, but it still was kind of like things hadn't gotten up and running so much. Anyhow, I'm going to pull a card from the Crystal Ball Tarot. This is Major Arcana. I just brought these with me, so I wanted to pull a card. And these cards were designed by John William Waterhouse. I've shown them to you before. And they're the Crystal Ball Tarot, just the Major Arcana. So we're going to kind of get a vibe for the day. You're turning to me instead of watching news. Earlier I thought I should change my tagline or add to my tagline and say, I'm watching the news so you don't have to. So I have had my eye on the news today. I am quite, let me see. Disheveled's not the word. The Republicans are disheveled. But I'm quite shocked and stunned. We can't really avoid the news. And if you come here to get the news, that's perfectly fine with me. We can't really avoid the news. We are in the throes of they're really testing to see. The Putin Republican Party is really testing to see. I'm in Maine, Sandy. The Putin Republican Party is really testing to see if this fascist playbook that they're using will work. So I'm going to say that again so you can kind of absorb it. The Putin Republican Party is testing to see how far they can go in the fascist, according to the fascist playbook that they're using, in whatever form you want to think about that. They're pushing to see how far they can get with the playbook to overthrow American democracy and to replace it with fascism. Hey, Carrie. Can I get a witness? It's been the fastest day ever. I don't know where the time went. Maybe it was because I was sucked into the news. Can I get a witness? That's what they're doing. Yes, well, the Democrats are winning. Yes. More Democrats running in elections winning. Remember my chant? If you didn't ever hear it or if you forgot it, it's More Democrats running in elections winning. More Democrats running in elections winning. Sandy's saying she limits the news to a little bit of Morning Joe. Yeah, I thank you, Julie. Julie heard me and she agrees. I do check in. I do check in. Glenna agrees. So the Putin Republican Party, yep. Well, the blue wave is in place. Warren saying he predicts a blue wave in 2024 big time. Yes, that blue wave, the blue wave is already in place. Angela says the Republicans are the gang that can't shoot straight. So they're using the playbook. I'm going to remind you, brings back cheerleading vibes. I'll say it one more time. More Democrats running in elections winning. Merrick Garland, just correcting you, the spelling. I'm going to remind you that back in July, on July 4th, 2018, a group of these traders took a trip. They were invited to the Kremlin, and a group of these traders went to the Kremlin July 4th, 2018, as if to make a mockery out of our Independence Day. And I'll have to go and research who was on that trip, but you can look it up. Who went on the trip to the Kremlin, invited by the Putin regime on July 4th, 2018. Furthermore, Viktor Orban has orchestrated in Hungary, Viktor Orban has orchestrated and succeeded in overthrowing democracy in Hungary and replacing it with Christian nationalism. And Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker Carlson and I'm assuming Matt Gaetz, I don't know for a fact, but anyway, they've been making trips back and forth to Hungary. They invited Viktor Orban to one of their big, like conservative extremist events. And they've been using Viktor Orban as kind of a coach to coach them on how to overthrow American democracy and replace it with Christian nationalism extremists in the government. A government that's basically a dictatorship. So the reason that we have to watch the news, and like I said, if you want to get the news from me, that's perfectly fine, but just make sure that you're paying attention to the news. Angela says she saw 45 in Iowa today. Was he at Iowa? He looks really bad. He definitely looks, Donald Trump looks really, really bad. So pay attention to the news because we're in a really important time right now because they will need, the Putin Republican Party will need to get to a tipping point, get to a critical mass, and when they have certain things in place, it's like if you were pushing on a wall or a fence and you kept pushing and pushing and pushing. As long as nobody's pushing back, eventually it's going to let go. So we are we're right smack dab in the middle of that kind of energy, that if we don't push back as they are trying to push this wall or this fence, if you can imagine that as an analogy, if we are not on the other side pushing back, they get the critical mass necessary and the energy necessary, and they just push the whole democracy down. Now, I am very cognizant of that they don't know what they're asking for. Yeah, Merrick Garland was definitely pushing back today. Yeah, we'll get into that. I feel as though that the Putin Republican Party has no idea what they're asking for. Cheryl saying Trump's eyes are wild. What do you mean? He's probably not sleeping at all. The reason they don't know what they're asking for, well, first of all, they're being so loyal to Trump. So over the top, oh my gosh, they couldn't be any more loyal. They're just giving it all up. They're all in for Trump. And do you think for 1 second I'll read that in a sec. Do you think for 1 second that once Donald, you know, if he theoretically, if he got back in the White House, do you think he'd be loyal to them? Darren saying, I could keep reposting this quote. Baby boomer here. On November 18th, 1956, Khrushchev said, we will take America without firing a shot. We do not have to invade the U.S. We will. Yeah, I definitely felt that kind of sentiment today. I've not seen the entire speech that Biden gave at the UN. I have to do my homework. I have to get caught up a little bit. Okay, so they have no idea what they're asking for because Trump wouldn't be loyal to them. You know, theoretically speaking, if he was ever in the White House again, and I always get that he will not be. Theoretically speaking, they're really playing a losing game. The Putin Republican Party is really playing a losing game because they're pushing for somebody to be in the White House it would not only, and I'm just saying theoretically speaking, it would not only ruin all the lives of all the Americans, what they're pushing for, the Putin Republican Party, it would not only ruin everybody's life in America, it would ruin their own lives. It would ruin their own lives. So what I'm going to read on first is this. We know our enemy countries are really salivating over what the Putin Republican Party is doing. So are you all with me? We can call it the PRP. Because if I'm going to call it the Putin Republican Party, that's a mouthful because I talk fast usually. And PRP, the perps. You want them to lose now? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Okay, so I'm going to pull some cards. Let me see. Do I want to use these? I think, yeah, I'm going to use these first, the Hanson Roberts deck. So yeah, it's interesting, to say the least. That was the lamest word I could ever use to describe how it is. Boy, I can see a lot better now. The only people that will be happy will be the elites, Deb is saying, so basically the 1%. But let me ask you something. If all the people are suffering, let me just make this for an example. Say, theoretically speaking, Thomas is saying, hang on. Good news, New Hampshire flipped a House seat and Pennsylvania flipped a House seat yesterday, blue. This is just the beginning. Yeah, I didn't bring my bell, but ring, ring, ring. Good news. If the 1% was leading this country, theoretically speaking, and we know in many ways they are, with all the billionaires, and Sheldon Whitehouse, by the way, talking about this scheme. Make sure you look at that on YouTube. Really unbelievable. How lovely of a country would they be living in if, say, they totally took down the government in the United States and the 1% totally, I'm just saying theoretically speaking, that the 1% totally took over everything. They'd be like lords over a completely ugly, awful, polluted country. Maybe the garbage wouldn't get picked up. Maybe there'd be people sick everywhere. They'd be exposed to all kinds of things they don't want to be exposed to. So you know what I mean? Nobody wins. If they're going to keep, pounding the drum of we need fascism, and actually to the mainstream media's credit and other organizations, they're using the word fascism. They're finally, I've been harping away at this for a long time, as they have at Midas Touch. It is fascism. Oh, this is interesting. Be Grateful is saying, my dream 2 days ago, it was a concert tour. In her dream, she was at a concert tour in Russia, but everything was messed up. Wrong music, wrong setting, wrong clothing, scores lost, strangers crowding. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying. No one needs fascism. Exactly. Linda Gordon saying Elon Musk is running the country. Not exactly, but if you're talking about the wealthiest, Elon Musk is not running the country, but I know what you mean. When I sit down and do my taxes, I think about Jeff Bezos. Warren Green, Edgar Casey once said that out of Russia will come the hope of the world. Out of Russia? I've been predicting that someday Russia will be a democracy. Again, the French never had any problems with their 1% after 1798. Yes. Yeah, I actually, I want to ask this. So many things I want to ask. Thank you, Janet, for putting up my information. I have my flyer that my niece made me right there. Seriously, are you psychic? Gosh, I don't know what to ask first. Let's see how these hearings are going. Let's see what's going to happen with these hearings. Unbelievable. I mean, there was one point, I didn't watch the entire hearings. You really had to have a strong stomach to watch those entire hearings. And to you know, the vitriol was just spewing all over the place. But some of these fascist Republicans were, honestly, the energetic image that I see was like, really that whole thing about throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. It really did feel like if one thing wasn't working in that sham hearing, they just kept throwing out their words, right? And, you know, like, Hunter Biden, I don't know if I heard laptop, but, you know, they just kept throwing out, if that didn't work, they'd throw something else out at Merrick Garland. If that didn't work, they'd throw something else out at Merrick Garland, to the point where nothing even made sense. And Jim Jordan wouldn't even let Garland talk. That's their tactic. And that started with Kellyanne Conway. You know, you'd see her being interviewed. Remember when that stuff was like new and like, remember that? When it was like, what are they doing? Because people used to have civil interviews on TV. Yeah, and you really saw it. Thomas is like just sort of saying the same thing. They threw the lies out there to the point where you just forgot the plot. I think I was driving. It was earlier today. I was listening and I was just trying to pay attention to what they were saying. And then all of a sudden I'm like, they totally lost the plot. They don't even know what the plot is. So 3 cards about how it went today. And I'm just going to say how that all went. All right. And let me just take a moment to say I hope you had a wonderful Wednesday, a wonderful hump day. I did have a wonderful day. I didn't quite make it to the beach for as long as I wanted to. But boy, I have a lot of gratitude because Hurricane Lee was heading right for this area. So I have a lot of gratitude that where I am, Maine didn't get hit too bad. So, okay, here's some, I'm reading on the energy of those hearings today, if you can call them that, because they're really not. I don't really know what we can call them. And I have the Justice card. What I really see about this, and Deb is saying she was not able to watch the hearings. It was beyond disturbing, and even in short clips. I agree. But let's flip it around and let's look at it from this perspective, because this did occur to me too. It's on full display, like that heinous interview that Trump did on Meet the Press with Kristen Welker. It's just like they're highlighting the heinousness. Yeah, douchebaggery on display. I like it, Sandy. It was douchebaggery on display. And it was just so, like, let's just say smart criminals hide what they're doing. They're calling for these hearings where they just get to show you that they have no evidence, and they just put it out in front of everybody's faces, and they're just looking for, you know, a Fox News spot or the memes or something to put on their social media, right? They have no shame. So they're so in need of attention that they're not even considering, oh, we're highlighting how corrupt we are. We're highlighting what fascists we are. We're putting it on full display for the American people to see. Happy the Dems are pushing back. So often that I've read on the Democrats, I get the Four of Cups, which means not taking enough advantage of the opportunity. So hopefully that's going to shift. But as far as the energy of the hearing today, the Ten of Cups is indicating there are more benefits. There are actually more benefits for the country and what we were able to see in terms of the DOJ looking pretty stellar. And this gives me the feeling of a hung jury kind of a thing, that kind of a feeling. And so I just want to say, I feel like the fascist Republicans kind of had to give up. I don't know how it ended, but there were a lot of things that they just kind of had to surrender. They just had, like, I mean, how much can you keep on saying something, which is the fascist playbook? You just keep saying it and saying it and saying it. How much can you just keep saying it before it starts to occur to everyone? I don't really think this is making any sense. And I think you're against democracy. If you're against, like Merrick Garland spelled it out. And I actually think that that's a good thing that they had these stupid hearings, because Merrick Garland got to reinforce and emphasize. They've been talking forever about defunding the FBI, defunding the DOJ, defunding our security, defunding all these organizations, to which Merrick Garland correctly responded, we have enemies attacking us, like planning attack from all angles. All of our enemies are continually engaged in how they can attack America. And if we don't have an FBI, if we defund the FBI, if we defund law enforcement, if we defund Secret Service, if we defund these agencies, then it's bad enough what Tuberville is doing. We'll take a look at that, because I'm seeing unfolding what I had said about that. It's bad enough Tuberville's doing what he's doing, the stupid fat idiot. He looks like a dummy. Calm down. It's bad enough that that's happening. But they wanted to fund the FBI and DOJ. They wanted to fund all these agencies that are keeping us safe from attack by the grace of God. So Merrick spelled it out. And that's what we got to see on display. Oh yeah, this Putin Republican Party, they want what Putin wants, which is let's make it real easy to attack. Who's saying Maine has lots of crickets? Can you hear the crickets? I guess you can. I have the windows open. So we're hearing it. The American people are hearing it. Oh, if they defund the FBI, that means they can't track cyber attacks. They can't track what these countries, what our enemies are doing. And get ready, because as much as I hate to alarm people about AI, we got to get a handle on AI, because if the enemy countries are able to, and we'll read on it, if they're able to hack our systems because the FBI is defunded, and it won't be, but if they're able to hack our systems, they're going to use everything. In the next election in 2024, they're going to use everything that they can to make sure that their guy gets in the White House. I'm not saying they're going to succeed. And also, hang on, Darren's saying, don't let these fascists wear the USA down. Yeah, you can't get worn down. You have to keep going. I mean, you cannot believe how many times I go, and probably the other psychics too, oh, do we have to keep pounding away at this? Can we get back to our lives and all that? No, we can't. We can't get back to our lives. This has to be our lives. Look at with Zelensky. Zelensky talking about Vladimir Putin. Who was it here in the chat the other night that said she saw a Trump/Putin flag? That should be a warning. Yeah, the FBI is starting to put in guardrails for AI, and they have to, because if they don't, we're done. And I heard today that Trump, according to his wife Ivana, and I have said before that Trump had a copy of Mein Kampf, even though he doesn't really read, when they were married. I also have heard that Trump has copies of Adolf Hitler's speeches. So when he gets up there at his rallies, you can bet your bottom dollar he knows exactly what he's doing. So let's take a look at our national security. But first I'm going to ask about Tuberville. Now what I had said was that I felt like Tuberville was going to be sat down by some higher ups and going, look dude, what are you, working for China? And Chuck Schumer and a couple of other of them, yeah, Trump is pure evil, somebody's saying, and he looks like a pig. That's an insult to pigs. I'm totally serious. So I do see him being sat down. That's what I told you a few weeks ago. I can't believe that he's still holding up the military promotions. We're going to read on him. And maybe I can show you. I'm going to show you. I like to screenshot things. My phone, you know, I have a 13, and the 13s were came up with the ability to screenshot. Hang on. Okay. So here's a picture of evil. Look at the evil. Can you see the evil? If you don't get involved in saving our democracy, that's what you get. I know I was talking about Tuberville, but I just had to show you. And look at the person who doesn't know what the hell he's doing, like he took too many hits to the head. He must have played football if he's a football coach, right? Him. Imagine him gone out of his seat. Removed from his seat. Yeah, Matt Gaetz looked like the devil, doesn't he? Anyway, because we fell asleep at the wheel of our democracy, we're having to deal with this, okay? So every one of us can say, sorry I wasn't more involved the past few decades. Yeah, I read on Tuberville. Which one are you referring to that's bought and paid for? Of course they're bought and paid for. And by the way, speaking of that, and I'll get to Tuberville in a sec. What happened, I just want to tell you the image that I saw was what happened in Texas with Ken Paxton getting off the hook for the time being. They're intentionally evil, Damon. Damon's in the house. So, hang on. Damon's confused. Sorry, I got distracted. We can never go back to how we were, which was complacent. Yes. Why would someone want to hurt their own country? Because they don't know any better. Let me read on Tuberville, and then I'll get back to what I was saying. 3 cards about Tuberville. All right. And just a heads up, I'm probably going to end after an hour tonight because Sis is coming over. We're going to eat some dinner. This is about Tuberville. This is Tuberville. He's going to be tied up. And what I wanted to say was, please come to 20 on Tuesdays, because we're doing some really great meditations, visualizations to disempower these people. This is Tuberville. Oh yeah, okay, so what I was going to tell you, I knew it would come to me, that when I saw what happened, that Ken Paxton for the time being is not going to jail, was millions of dollars behind the scenes passing hands. Yep, Ken Paxton. Thank you, Virginia. I usually do remember what I was going to say. I just get distracted. So I saw millions, for entertainment purposes only, my psychic vision saw millions of dollars passing hands behind the scenes to get Paxton off the hook. We're reading on Tuberville right now. So Tuberville he's tied up. He's holding back and here, okay, this is exactly Tuberville. This is, yes, he's being paid. He's being paid. Some people delight in doing hateful things. Yes, that's called sadism. Tuberville, he is really, and I can read this in his energy, he's really hemmed in. And he's holding secrets of who's paying him to compromise our security. And he's holding on to the money and he's hoping, this is about Tuberville, he's hoping that they won't find out about the money. So I was picking up on hidden money behind the scenes with Ken Paxton in Texas, and I pick up, that's more local in Texas. I pick up about Tuberville, the most heinous people in government being paid by the enemy countries. Let's ask this. Is the enemy country, and I already asked this before, is Tuberville being paid by Russia? Yes. Louise C is saying, just saw the notice. Oh, did you just get a notification? I screwed up. I don't know. You know when they keep changing things around? So now, like I have a picture of the current day for the background, so I do a little screenshot. But YouTube keeps trying to get me to put up a different picture. So that's what happened. I apologize if you didn't get a notification. I'm going to switch decks just for the fun of it. I don't have my teacup tonight. So will they be removed? As long as we keep our eye on the ball. Oh yeah, and thanks Cheryl for reminding people to hit the thumbs up. It's a nice little spot. I love this little spot that I found. I encourage you all to go, if you need to get away and get a change of scenery, do what I do. I've made a hobby out of looking for Airbnbs, and you get pretty good at it after a while. You really do. Okay. Yes, please hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Gloria. That was you? Okay. So, let's read on... I saw someone say they thought there could be a military end run around Tuberville. Oh, a military end run around Tuberville, find a different way to put needed people in place. Oh, yeah. Well, they're going to find a way. Roseanne is saying that it was such a warm feeling to see Merrick Garland smile today. I didn't really watch it as much as listen to it. Is Tuberville... I have another pendulum. Yeah, sorry, Gloria. That was my screw up. I wasn't able to get the notifications. It just kind of like, all of a sudden I was on. Is Tuberville going to be forced to change course? Is he going to be forced to change course? Okay, so it's giving me the runaround. Tuberville is turning the military against Republicans. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Can you explain? Can you explain, Janet? Are the military promotions going to go forward this week? Are the military promotions going to go forward this week? It looks like yes. The military are mad at Tuberville. Okay, yeah. It looks like this week the promotions will go through. So now, what I have to do is let you know that we are going to rewrite the laws so that this kind of thing won't happen. that one person can hold up the entire military and national security, I think the laws are going to get stronger about that. So let's see. Will new laws be put into place so that senators can't hold up the military? Yes. New laws will be put in place. Yes. I think Tuberville looks mean. He's an idiot. Maybe he looks mean to you. Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. But he also looks like a big idiot. He's a Virgo. Well, there's good and bad to every sign, right? Okay, let's take a look. Thank you, Sharon. You're so good at helping me to mark it. Warren, I read on the government shutdown, and I'm going to start writing things down for you and sending them to you. I did not see a government shutdown. Virginia's like, right, I'm a great Virgo. We are going to read on Joe Biden. We're going to read right now. We're going to read on Joe Biden. We're going to read on how, the general energy after the UN. And I think I have not yet watched the 60 Minutes interview. And thank you to the couple of you that sent it to me with Vladimir Zelensky. We'll look at cards about the government and all that, of like the shutdown, potential shutdown and all that, but I got no. So Zelensky was on 60 Minutes, and Zelensky spoke today, I believe, again to the UN, and he spoke yesterday. And Zelensky was speaking yesterday about what the Putin regime is doing. So honestly, and I don't know if you saw this, I don't know how many people are actually aware of it, but what the Putin regime is doing is they're taking children from their parents to the tune of tens of thousands of children have been stolen from their Ukrainian parents. And this is what Vladimir Zelensky was talking to the UN about. So honestly, if you're a Republican posing as an American that loves democracy and loves humanity, if you are a fascist Republican and the American public knows that you want to defund Ukraine, knowing that the Putin regime is kidnapping children to the tune of tens of thousands of children have been stolen from their families. Let that sink in for a second. Your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, you're in a war-torn area. Your country was mercilessly attacked. Well, any attack is merciless. And then they steal your children. And this country of America who can help, and Ukraine is preserving democracy for us, to be a Republican and to say, no, we have to defund the war. We have to defund Ukraine. That makes you look like an absolute freaking freak monster with no humanity whatsoever. So that's what's being shown to us. Let's read about the Biden administration. Please do hit the thumbs up. It does help me. So I'm going to pull three cards about I'm going to read three cards about how the impact that Biden made yesterday. Oh, by the way, somebody's mentioning a dark Brandon mug. I did see the ad that Joe Biden put out. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up. I did see the ad with Joe Biden pouring tea or something in his cup, and it just goes from looking like Joe Biden to dark Brandon. Pretty good. I need to get me one. Warren said he's sending me a couple of mugs. I don't know if that's one of them. how Joe Biden did at the UN, the impact. The guys are showing me Joe Biden at the UN, you know, like shaking hands, forming camaraderie, strengthening alliances. Yes, the world is behind him, strengthening alliances. So the world is behind Joe Biden, but the fascist Republicans are not. Yeah, defund all the GOP. Thank you for saying it, because that's what where I was at today. They're trying to cut, the fascists want to cut food aid to the American people. They want to cut Medicare and Social Security, and that's in their plan. Diary of Anne Frank in Texas was banned in Texas. Fascist pigs. So Joe Biden, he made a lot of friends. He shook a lot of hands at the UN. It really did strengthen our position. This is the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands. I like these cards. Thank you, Markara, for sending them. I don't know if she's in the chat. Yeah, Joe's strength is always behind the scenes. I agree with that. Which is unfortunate in this era of like, how do you look? How do you look? How do you look? How do you look? But Joe Biden put a lot of plans in place on the world stage. Remember, he was in charge of foreign relations. He's well versed in foreign relations. The Empress of the United States. Joe Biden, I have this feeling like at the UN and with that trip to the G21 now, when he went to India, I feel like he did something that nobody else could have done. Yeah, I feel like Joe Biden has done work that nobody else on the planet could have done. And it's that level of making a difference. It's that level of helping the world and helping America. It's at that high level that these fascist Republicans have to contend with. And the only way they know how to contend with it is to try to cover it up and to try to lie. That's all they've got. That's all they've got. The fascist, the Putin Republican Party, fascist party, that's all they have. So think about that. So we've got to support to the nth degree. This is a pro-democracy channel. We have to support all the pro-democracy channels. And we have to join organizations. Grassroots of Democracy. Like Grassroots of Democracy. We have to join organizations. And at Grassroots of Democracy, we join up with other organizations. We have to expand this in a huge way. Because we don't want fascism. And Donald Trump is so angry now. And he is, he has alliances with our enemies. And Donald Trump is so angry now. Yeah, President Biden met with Netanyahu in New York. I didn't hear any news about that after their meeting, but we can read on it. So Joe Biden, he's really knocking it out of the park. And all the Republicans have is total BS lies. And Trump wants retribution so badly. And the enemy countries would want nothing more. Would want nothing more. Yeah, Netanyahu he's a real criminal. Our enemy countries would want nothing more than to help Trump. Because that would destroy us. So you got to tell everybody. Let me pull 3 cards on that. How's it going to go with Americans waking up to the reality that our very lives are at risk? How's that going to go? Let's see. So tonight there's salmon and delicato squash and corn on the cob. Looking at the kitchen for supper. Oh, but before that we're gonna have steamed clams for an appetizer. I'm getting hungry. Okay, let's see how it's going to go for America in terms of people waking up. That's the question. It was on the news this afternoon. You mean Netanyahu and Biden's meeting? I'm just saying that I didn't hear, I didn't tune in to find out what happened. The veil is being raised. As far as the American people, the Page of Cups, it does look like the messaging is getting out there. There was a really good ad. I think Nicole Wallace showed the ad. It was on her show today. Showed the ad. I was driving. I didn't really see who put out the ad exactly, but there was an ad, and it was about really powerful ad. And let me know if you saw this ad. The ad was a woman who had a miscarriage. In the ad, there was a woman who had a miscarriage who was being arrested because they were just the actors that were police officers arresting a woman who had a miscarriage in this ad. And then later, there was a scene where a teacher, somebody playing the role of a teacher as an actor, was talking to a student who was saying, that's not, slavery wasn't good for people. And then the police officer actors came in and hauled her away. So, yeah, blue is for you, exactly. And there was a really powerful ad. There was a third part to the ad too. I don't remember what it was, but I'm sure, hopefully you'll see it. So honestly, I mean, this is what happens in other countries. I would be arrested. Let's just be honest. Let's just be frank. I would be arrested and thrown in prison for having the Psychic News Network, where I go over the political news and where I share my opinion. And that's not a joke. That's not hyperbole. That's what would happen. Sue Prater is saying, Garland smiled, all I saw was duress from the corrupt GOP. As far as the American people getting the message, the Page of Cups? Page of Cups is, that's why I started to talk about the ad. I do see people starting to big money people pouring money into advertising. I would be with Navalny, yeah. Well, if I were in a fascist dictatorship, God, just shudders. Guy just freaks me out to my bones to even think about that. I would be in a labor camp, and Be Grateful would be in it too. People have said to me, you should run for office, to which I respond, well, in the current climate, that would be a real witch hunt. Right? Think about the books that they're banning. As far as the American people, the Empress has represented America. In my readings, it just feels most like the Empress represents America. The Moon card is like, people are going to be real emotional. And also, I have, this would indicate the women, because the Moon is a feminine aspect. The Moon is like sister moon, and it's about women's menstrual cycles. So that's going to play a huge role in people paying attention. There are women suffering, and I hate to tell you, but there are women who become pregnant that are dying in their pregnancies. The mortality rate is really high in America and the poor states. So people really are starting to get emotionally just freaked out. And the Page of Cups is, we're going to start to get more on message. And what's happening now is, you have to understand, there's a positive side to what's happening right now. I know it's ugly. I know it's horrible. I know it really freaks us out. I know for many people, it just keeps them tossing and turning awake at night. I know that's all true. However, isn't it good that, at least here's the good part, you can't really hear somebody say, well, that's not really happening, because it's really happening. Right? We've come out of that phase of people going, well, no, that's not true, because you can just point to it now. And in that way, we have a lot more power in that regard. Okay. I have to do a commercial. My schedule is wide open, people. I'm a 3 decades long professional psychic. If you would like to have a psychic reading, you should get a psychic reading. PsychicAnnetteDion.com. Also, let me just take this down because that's why I put it up here so I would remember. This class starts on Saturday. There's plenty of space in this class. Take charge of your life using your sixth sense. Your sixth sense is something you were born with. We don't have just 5 senses, we have 6 senses. I will give you practices to do. We will learn about how to do automatic writing, how to do psychometry, how to channel, how to, what else do I have? I don't have it in front of me. Anyway, go to PsychicAnnetteDion.com and sign up for this class. It's a course, so you pay tuition. It's a 6-week course, and it starts this Saturday, right on the fall equinox. So check it out, PsychicAnnetteDion.com, and also on my website, there's a lot on my website. You'll see Tarot in 2 hours at the Castle. That's a live stream class that's happening October 11th, which is a Wednesday from 7 to 9, a little after 9. Live stream from a medieval castle here that was built, I'm in Maine now, but in my hometown, that was built by an inventor who actually was really a big fan of Nikola Tesla and lived during that time. Anyway, October 11th, learn how to read tarot in 2 hours. And thank you, Janet. I have openings if you would like a reading. This YouTube is not like the best way for me to get readings. I've noticed that, so I'm putting in a lot of energy every week, and basically for practically nothing. So it really supports me. Marjorie Trader Green is writing a book. It really supports me when you get readings. It really supports me and supports this channel obviously when you donate. But when you take advantage of what I am offering, please know that we all have to make a living, and it's a win-win-win. Members receive an affirmation in their inbox every single Monday through Friday, every single day. And members also at the top 2 levels are invited to a psychic party, which is an hour the last Saturday night of the month. It's an hour. It's a psychic party. And Church of Spirituality is every single Sunday at 1 Eastern time live streamed. If you're not watching Church of Spirituality, you're really missing out because it will make your life better. 20 on Tuesdays, every single Tuesday, we do a guided meditation for a healed America. Very, very powerful channeled meditations. I never know what's going to come out, and it's all right there. And after the meeting, first off, after we do the guided meditation, we go over the readings from Sunday's Church of Spirituality, and we also afterwards you receive a recording of the guided meditation. I have it on my mind that I'm going to have the guided meditations for a healed America sent to everybody who signs up for Grassroots of Democracy. If you sign up for Grassroots of Democracy, I think it's for a limited time. When you sign up for Grassroots of Democracy by going to grassrootsofdemocracy.com, you will receive compliments of one of our members in the group, a Grassroots of Democracy tote bag. So, yeah, definitely, Moonchild is saying she'll go to church tonight. Just watch the church. It's going on 3 years. I've had Church of Spirituality. I'm doing all these things to help you. That's why I'm kind of pleading with you. Take advantage of what I have to offer in terms of readings and everything, too. And I do tea leaf readings, too. There's my commercial. And please hit the thumbs up and please subscribe. We'll go until my sister gets here and it's time for dinner. Texas teacher fired after assigning graphic novel based on Anne Frank's diary. Yeah, that's got to stop. And I heard, too, that there's somebody who is making a big to-do. I forget what state he's in, but he's running for office. I didn't write it down. I was driving. But if you watch Nicole Wallace's show from today, there's somebody running for something, a fascist running for something in the Republican Party, where he's going to make a big to-do. I think he's running an ad of him burning cardboard to say, I will burn all the books. I'll burn all the books. Which is, it kind of makes me laugh in a way if they really think that's going to keep people keep kids from being able to find things out in this age of the internet, but still. Okay, let's pull 3 cards on these book bans. What do you say? And thank you for all your support, and thank you for hitting the thumbs up, and thank you for your lovely comments. I do appreciate it. I don't respond to them all because it's very cumbersome, but I really do appreciate it. Okay, the book bans. Let's see what's going to happen with the book bans. I mean, I'm thinking about the book bans, and I'm thinking about Texas, and I really am. I'm just shuddering. It's so unbelievably anti-democratic. I mean, it's like it's the opposite of democracy. What these fascist Republicans want is the polar opposite of democracy. It really, thank you, Damon, for hitting the thumbs up. It really is, it just chills you to the bone. Yeah. Yeah, they want to hide anything from children that might harm them. But let's keep guns a free for all. Let's keep these, you know, honestly. The book bans. It's going to be ugly. It's going to really hurt education. Yeah, The Diary of Anne Frank is a book you will never forget once you read it. Yeah, I've been to the Anne Frank house in Amsterdam. As a psychic, it was pretty heavy. That was a long time ago. 9 of Swords, in terms of the book bans, they're really doing massive amounts of damage to children's education. I haven't read on the meeting with Netanyahu yet. I didn't hear any more news about it, but I'll read on. Ask what is your question that you want me to ask the cards about the meeting with Netanyahu? That will help me. If you have a specific question you want me to ask about that. Yeah, Snake who helped Trump to get in 2016. Thank you, Sue Prater. Sue just read on it. So these book bans, I actually do feel, the Eight of Pentacles is here. I do feel like there are a lot of people working on this not being the case, but we're going to have to deal with this for 1 to 2 years, these book bans. I do see them expanding. They're showing us who they are. The Eight of Pentacles indicates a way that people kind of get around it. I see behind the scenes working on getting rid of these book bans. Oh, thanks. Was any peace accomplished in the meeting? Okay, about Netanyahu. We'll look at that next. The Lover card is that people will come together. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the positive side now. Here's the law of contrast. When we see this much evil and this much hatred, we crave the light and we crave the love and we crave the strength. Yeah, yeah, they don't want the kids to know the truth, but it's Cheryl's saying, but isn't it true that they don't care if somebody shoots up children in their classroom? Yeah, they can read anything they can read anything online. That is true. But just that they would that these fascists would say these kids can't read these books. Let us not. Yeah, we can't let that happen in America. It is happening. Let us not normalize this. The longer it goes on, the longer people start to just feel like, oh, well, that's just the way it is. We cannot afford to do that. Red Betta is saying Kevin is almost in tears. Right now? Kevin Marshmallow McCarthy is almost in tears? In general? I guess we do have to read on him. Let me read on the meeting with Netanyahu and Biden today first. The list of banned books should be published so kids will want to read them. They are. There, you can find, it's like thousands of books long, the list. Moonchild saying, Marshmallow can cry? Kevin Marshmallow, jellyfish, hostage of the House McCarthy, for which I have no sympathy. He can cry all he wants. Netanyahu and Biden, the meeting today. Let's just take a look. Oh, Velshi, thank you for mentioning that. Ari Velshi has a banned book club. Thank you for reminding me of that. I just saw that today. I would have forgotten about it. Yeah, check that out, everybody. Check that out. Ari Velshi's, he has a podcast, right? I think it's called the Banned Book Club. We need to support these organizations. Warren, what do you think? Do you think Kevin McCarthy is going to be reelected in 2024? I just want to have you test your psychic skills. I'm always harassing Warren. Netanyahu and Biden. What went on there today? Oh, I get that Biden Scorpio came out. In that meeting with Netanyahu, I get the Biden Scorpio came out. No, you do not. You're right, Warren. Kevin McCarthy's not going to get. I know you're from New York City. I'm from the Northeast too. We can harass each other. What I get about Biden and Netanyahu in that meeting, Biden was very strong. Ari Velshi's Banned Book Club is on Apple Podcasts. There you go. Betty doesn't see Kevin Lassen to the end of his term. I'm reading on Netanyahu now. The meeting today. Yeah. Biden dominated that meeting. Oh yeah, Dark Brandon came out. See, I'm saying that's exactly what I'm getting. That meeting with Netanyahu, I get that Biden was really. He just let it rip. The magician, Netanyahu, tried to turn it around. Netanyahu was a little bit, shifty, and tried to turn it around. But Biden won that one. I really feel like look at how long he's known these world leaders. Look how long Netanyahu has been president of Israel. Unbelievable. 45 House seats up. You heard it here first. Dems will take 40 plus. Yes. Eventually, the Democrats are going to take over because we will have had enough. The thing that we're up against is our enemies infiltrating. Yeah, take no prisoners, President Biden. That's the way that meeting went. Absolutely. Any other younger president would probably have not had the leverage, be grateful, is saying they know Biden. That's absolutely what I said earlier when I was reading on how Biden did at the UN and at the G21 summit. That I get very strongly. There's nobody on the freaking planet alive right now. And I mean that. Like it's coming through so strongly. There is nobody on the entire planet that could have done what Joe Biden has done in the past couple of months on the world stage. Just incredible. Tweet Scotchy showed up. Hi. So honestly, why is Huck Finn banned? I don't know. Is that a psychic question? Biden was made for this moment. If it makes you feel better, Why is Huck Finn banned? I don't know. My first thought is that it's a racist thing. I don't know if I ever read Huck Finn. All I remember about Huck Finn was painting the white fence, right? That was Huck Finn, right? Romeo and Juliet band? Oh. Warren's looking at the banned books list. All the good books are banned. Yeah. We love Joe Biden. So, and then I heard some kind of a statistic today about, some stupid poll. And don't listen to those. Don't listen to the polls. Don't listen to the polls. They're fake. Joe Biden is a huge gift to the world. Absolutely true. And remember, over the weekend, I haven't even read on Donald Trump. It just occurred to me. How is that possible? Down the river and on the paddle boat. I don't know why Huck Finn was banned. Maybe we can look into that more. Yeah. I haven't even read on Joe Biden, on Trump. This first time ever. First time ever. Maybe I won't. I read more on the Putin Republican Party, right? I'm not going to read on Trump. But remember that over the weekend that Trump said, he literally said that he ran against Obama. Mark Twain wasn't exactly the most sainted of writers. He was a bit salty. Yeah, and that's being an artist. That's being a creative person. That's being autonomous and unique. I have nothing to read on COVID, Linda Gordon. It's got to be more interesting. I'm just joking with you. The black kid was treated normal and was a smart one. That's why Huck Finn was banned. That's exactly what I got. Mark Twain was brilliant, yes. Ernest Hemingway was salty, right? They were all salty. That was kind of like, make people pay attention. Yeah, Trump was saying, and Trump said that Biden started World War II. Maybe that was a dig about Biden's age, but Trump is only 3 years younger. I don't get that it was that. I get that Trump now gets flustered. I'm not going to read on him, but I'm just going to say he was off the rails. Most MAGAs blame Obama for 9/11. It's insane. Let's read on this. Put up your question if I missed it. If I said I'd read on it and then I forgot. I'm just going to read on our democracy. And remember, I'll be back on Friday. I'll still be here. I'll still be in Maine. Democracy. I'm reading about democracy. I know I already read about the American people and whether they kind of get with the program. Democracy. Okay, I'm reading on democracy. I'm reading on our democracy. And then I'm going to let you go. Maybe. Unless my sister's not here yet. I'm reading on democracy. I want to say this. The only way we can have democracy is if we have law and order. The only way that any country can sustain a democracy is through a judicial system that works. A strong judicial system. A strong judicial system. We cannot have a democracy when we all have different ideas about what laws are. And with the Republicans, what they do is they celebrate criminality. It's like, who can outcrime who? So I'm reading on our democracy. I just want everyone to understand that we cannot have a democracy. You probably already know this, but I like to hear things again and again so they sink in, or I get reminded. And I have the justice card about our democracy. If our justice is, I love this card. These cards are new. They're a gift from one of my viewers. And they're called the Guardian of the Night Tarot if you want to look them up. But they were a gift, so I haven't looked them up to see if they're out there and available. I'm sure they are. This is about our democracy. It survives as long as our justice system survives. So that's why I want you to come to 20 on Tuesdays, Guided Meditation for a Healed America, because we visualize a strong America and a strong justice system. Hemingway's house in Key West is wonderful. Yeah, I've been to it. Yeah, these are really nice cards. Truman Capote was a brilliant author too. Somebody's saying. And saying Truman Capote was a brilliant author too. Yeah, all those guys are kind of salty. As far as our democracy, as long as our judicial system survives, democracy survives. The King of Cups means we do have a lot of good coming out of the American people. The Page of Swords. the prosecutors that are getting death threats and such, it feels like they're really reinforcing the protection for them. Before we go, I'm going to read on the threat of domestic terrorism. Hemingway's books are probably next to be banned because he was gay. Was he gay? I didn't know that. Warren, you can ask me on... the Supreme Court is so corrupt that I don't even want to look at it. We'll look at that on Friday. And do me a favor, everybody. Go to YouTube and watch. Sheldon Whitehouse is a freaking genius. Watch Sheldon Whitehouse's presentation called The Scheme about the Supreme Court. Let's save the Supreme Court for... The Do-Over says, I'm curious if you see riots breaking out in America. People are so angry about the high cost of rent and groceries, etc. The cost of living is higher than wages and people are hurting. Guess what? That's the way the world is right now. That's the way the world is right now. And Joe Biden has made our economy stronger than all the other countries in the G7. So if we're really going to be like complaining and rioting and getting angry and fighting with each other because prices are high, how spoiled can we be? How spoiled can we be? But for the grace of God, we're not on the streets. Hopefully nobody here is on the streets. But for the grace of God, we have food in our refrigerators and in our pantries. But for the grace of God, we're being provided for. We have roofs over our head. Nobody has a right to riot in the street because their prices are high. I'm sorry, I just got set off by that. It's bad everywhere. Yeah, I know, and I don't mean to sound offensive or like it's making me, upset. I am just mortified by people who complain. Oh, well, prices are so high, as if they're starving to death when they're clearly not. Okay. We're not going to be rioting in the streets because the price of bread is so high. I don't know if the price of bread is high, but you know what I'm saying? Senator Whitehouse did a new one called Let's Say. Yeah. He has a sign that says The Scheme, but the speech is brilliant and genius. Let's hear it for Sheldon Whitehouse. I think I want to write him a fan letter. I think I will. It's The Scheme, yes. It's unbelievable. No, I'm not mad at you, the Do-Over. It's not personal at all. It's not personal at all. I have a hard time with people that complain. There's a saying, crying that you're poor with a loaf of bread under your arms. That's a saying. We got to keep that in check. Okay, what I'm going to read on before I send you all off on your way and I go have my dinner. I can't wait for the steamers. I'm going to read on whether, and I'm going to do two more questions. One is whether we're going to have peace and not terrorism. We're all in the same boat, exactly. And the universe will provide. Domestic terrorism. Here's the devil. Evil is very much present. Here's a magician. Think peace in your mind and there will be peace. I know that sounds trite, but I'm just going to tell you, just do it. I don't mean to hold up my middle finger. Think peace. Think peace. This is the devil. We're up against the devil. Think peace. Well, the question is about, are we going to have peace or terrorism? The King of Swords. Joe Biden is holding down the fort. Think peace. Don't forget the butter. Oh yeah, we'll be having butter with our steamers. All right, 3 cards for the collective community, and people are kind of coming in. People are sort of dropping off a little bit. My numbers are going up and down. 3 cards for the community. And I just want to say I apologize for not coming on Thursday. I meant to upload a video for yesterday, because Tuesdays and Thursdays I do my best to do a video from outside, but somebody had to go to the dentist. This is a kind of an emergency thing, and I had to be available for that, and I was trying to get to Maine, and it was just crazy. But I'll do my darndest to upload a video from a beautiful spot in Maine tomorrow. So look for that, but that's going to be under videos. Ms. Lori is saying, when people complain about the price of gas, I say, if you can afford that expensive SUV, then you can afford the gas. That's exactly my point. That's exactly my point. I can cook the steamers in my fake beer. Great idea, Cheryl. Thank you. I wouldn't have thought of that. Thank you, Darren, for mentioning me. Tell your friends. Tune in again. Let's get some more subscribers. Let's grow this community. Thank you, Lois. You're very sweet. Community cards for the week. There's our 4 of Cups again. Okay, this is what we're up against. We're up against the fascist Republicans not letting us know who's funding them, for one thing, for entertainment purposes only, why they're doing what they're doing. The 4 of Cups is, once again, the Democrats not taking the opportunities. I'm not saying they're not doing it, but we have more opportunities. I'm going to say, rather than the Democrats that are in office, this has to do with the American people. We have opportunities. I heard somebody say today, somebody who's holding public office, that when we write letters and write emails and we sign petitions, and when the people are really speaking up in huge numbers, the people that are in office, they pay attention to that. Thank you, Darren. Testimonial for Church of Spirituality. Thank you, Be Grateful. And I know you appreciate it. I wouldn't come on if I didn't feel the appreciation. Thank you for saying so. And Sue's mentioning the damn Biden age issue. Whenever I hear them talking about Biden's age, I just think tan suit. Obama's tan suit. They didn't have anything else. We need to do better at getting the word out. And just because I'm reading for the collective right now before I sign off, Grassroots of Democracy meets on Thursday nights, and we have a discussion group on Thursday nights. Grassroots of Democracy has not grown past about 12 people. This is what I'm talking about. There's an opportunity. You love me more than sliced bread and ice cream? Oh, wow, that's pretty big. Thank you. There's an opportunity for you to join us in discussion groups and work sessions and meditations. And we have like over 300 people signed up for Grassroots of Democracy, and we have a handful of people that come. I'm not saying this because I want you all to show up because I started the group. I'm saying this because it scares me that small, tiny percentage of the people that said they were interested in saving democracy, they don't come to the meetings. Oh, thank you, John. Good to see you. I think you just popped up in the chat. So please heed what I'm saying. I'm not lecturing you. I just want us to stay a democracy. You could never open the link, so you left. It's not a link. You go on. Well, there's a Zoom link. If you're on the list for Grassroots of Democracy, if we have your email address because you gave it to us, you will receive copious notes after our meetings, even if you don't come. So there, I've said it. Thank you. Be grateful you received the notes. Even if you can't make it to the meetings, you will receive the notes. You will receive the notes. Okay, so, sorry, I just went on a little bit of a tangent there. But the 4 of Cups means we're not taking advantage of opportunities that we need to speak up and to get involved. 4 of Pentacles, what we're going to see this week is the Republicans hiding the source of money. 10 of Swords. It's going to be kind of a tough rest of the week, but think, Ms. Lori, please send an email to me, AnnetteDion7@gmail.com, and we'll set you up so that you can join the meetings. I'm glad to know, Cheryl, that you signed up and you read the notes, but you just can't do the Thursday nights. That's great. We also meet on Saturdays. We also meet on Tuesdays. Okay, so this week, the rest of the week, think sham clown hearings and how painful they are to watch. And to even know about, even if you're not watching them or you just catch clips of them. But this is the Four of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. This is the fascist Republicans holding back and hiding. And this is the Democrats, the American people, not taking the opportunities that we need to get more involved. We can change that. Love you guys. It's gonna be good. It's gonna get better as long as you participate. I'll see you again tomorrow. I'll upload a video, a PNN video from outside somewhere. So look under videos for that. Tomorrow night we have Grassroots of Democracy. Go to grassrootsofdemocracy.com to sign up. And please book a reading. PsychicAnnetteDion.com. Sign up for Seriously Are You Psychic? It's a great course. Learn how to do what I do. And we'll see you soon. Namaste. Thanks for all your help and everything. Thanks for the wrenches. See you soon.